Guys, listen, we're trying to find ourselves, and Minnesota, give them a lot of credit. They made a lot of threes. We knew they were going to shoot them. We didn't defend it very well, but they have to make them too. And they made a couple of tough ones. And it worries you when they start banking in those shots and things. You start questioning some stuff. But we just, what I try to tell my team is, between Costello and Harris and coming back, and we look very lethargic, if you ask me. And the example I can give you is, I asked Gary in that room on that last pick and roll with Costello, I said, did he roll a little harder than he did the other times? And he started laughing. And guys just aren't seeing it because they're not practicing very well. They're not practicing very long. They're not practicing very hard. And it's not all their fault. So we didn't play very well. Minnesota did play well. Give us some credit the second half. I thought we defended somewhat better. I thought we moved the ball a little better. We didn't look very good in that. And, that's the number one team on turnovers. They turn you over, and we had 7 turnovers, I think 2 the second half. There were some incredibly good things. Costello played a lot better the second half. But there were enough bad things to normally I'd get mad about, but not anymore. Just going to smile and let you all feel good about it, and we're going to do one hell of a job. And so I'm going to have a party tonight. You're all invited, and we'll go from there. Questions?
Talk about the lift you got from Kaminsky, especially in the first half.
Kaminsky did do a good job. I thought if I went through, he and, believe it or not, Travis Trice gave us just some minutes. I mean, that kid is, you can see how frail he is. I mean, he sucked it up, and I'm really ecstatic because when Keith got in foul trouble, Kaminsky made some shots, and he gives up some shots, but it is good that he makes some, and like we said last year, I'll still say it, if he continues to improve and would try to get a rebound once in a while and guard somebody once in a while, he can shoot it with anybody. And but this isn't, we do have to do more than just score on one end. But he did give us a lift in a point in time when we weren't very good. We weren't making many shots. That zone, which we have had no problems with zone, but think of Trice and Payne out of there. Those are two of my best zone busters. And so it did give us some problems, and Kenny raised it up.
Tom, just to follow up on Kaminsky, can you just talk about how he responded after the academic suspension and what you've seen from him up to this point?
Academics, it was just how he deals with himself. I mean, there were a lot of things. I'm not going to make it one-dimensional, but he had to grow up, and he's responded better, but then he didn't grow up again. So if you want me to take the foot off the pedal and be a nice guy, forget it. Ain't happening. Okay? Because there's certain things that I just get a kick out of people on how they perceive what I do. And, man, I'm going to tell you something now. It's, I wish I had Dede around more because he has a better understanding. And we got some guys that got to figure out who they are and what they are. And, a good coach should be able to define roles. And we've had so many injuries, like with a Valentine. I mean, I don't know what he thinks his role is. I know what I think it is, but I haven't done as good a job of defining it. So I'm going to have to do a better job of that. And, Kaminsky responded well for now. School's just starting. Everybody's coming back. We'll see how he does now before I can get real excited about everything. But he has made some progress, and he is handling it pretty well, and we're going to keep moving forward.
Just to follow up, is he a kid that kind of needs that boot in the ass, so to speak?
I don't know. I don't think after looking at the way people reacted last time, I don't think I can do that anymore. I can just pat him on the ass and say, "Come on, would you please keep doing a good job?" It's not as funny as you think if you're on my side of it, guys, to be very blunt and honest with you, because you know what? Always remember this. You guys are just as smart as I am, or just as dumb, the way you want to look at it. But everybody can see what's going on a floor. You can see who's playing hard, who's not playing hard. You don't have to be a coach to see that. You can see who's doing what they're supposed to do, who's not doing what they're supposed to, who's turning it over, who's getting open shots. The only difference is it's your job to write about it. It's my job to hold them accountable to it. And that sometimes makes it a little tougher. But I feel good about this. I know what some of our problems are. I think they're all fixable. I think we showed a little bit of guts to come back. I mean, we played a team today that's a good team. I mean, those guards are good. That little guard makes a big difference for them. Their big guys hit shots. I mean, just about everybody made shots. And when you do that, Smith comes in, hits 5 of 10. He hasn't been shooting that many even. And so they did a good job. There were 4 pretty veteran guys and a junior college guy. And Richard did a good job coaching them. And we're going to have to play better than we played if we want to win more games.
Tom, not playing Adrian Payne, was that done for precautionary reasons, or did he re-injure his foot?
No, nothing. He just, he wanted to go last game. He didn't feel he could go this game. It was a little swollen, and he just feels like it's not getting better. And as I said, there's no hidden tricks here. I'm not Bill Belichick. There's no, I'm sharing with you all the information I have. There's nothing medically wrong that we can observe, There's no stress fracture. We did MRIs, we did X-rays, We're going to try to do a few more things. It's just, and he wanted to play. I mean, Adrian's not being a wimp about it. He wanted to play. He just didn't feel he could, so I didn't want to take the chance and suit him up and put him through that. Last time I didn't either. That was his choice. So this time it was kind of my choice. And I didn't like the choice I made, but I think I did what I had to do for the right reasons.
Coach, excuse me, just to follow up on that, can you talk about just how hamstrung you were without Adrian, how you tried to adjust, and how much your team missed his presence in terms of how hard he seems to play compared with some of the others?
Well, he has a skill level, when you put him on the perimeter, you put him in the high post against the zone, it's just a whole nother skill level. And then Trice is a whole nother skill level. I mean, poor Trav, he made a layup, but he couldn't make a shot. He hasn't taken one in a week. And those 2 guys are very, very important against zones, Now, thank God Kenny came in and hit some because Gary was not making, but they were putting a lot of guys to Gary too, They did a good job of not letting him get too open. We did a decent job second half of screening. We got him some good looks, I thought. But, Gary's not in great shape yet either, guys. And he is busting his butt, but he is not in, I don't know what he played tonight. It had to be a lot of minutes, 35, 36. He's not in that kind of shape. Keith goes in foul trouble again. Travis can't go. So it's just the way it's going to be for a while. So we're going to ham and egg it and try to just tough it out and win ugly, win pretty, win some way. As long as it continues to be a W, we're going to have to live with this until we get everybody back. Costello too. I mean, I think you saw some better things out of Matt the second half, but he's been going at such a casual speed that, one of the big things we wanted to roll hard because we thought their big guy couldn't stay with us. And that last one, as Harris said, he rolled at a different level. And, it's not like they're loafing trying to do that. It's the lack of practice time that they've had, some of those guys, and they just aren't doing a very good job of it.
Tom, I'm curious your thoughts on Dawson. It seemed like in the first half it was still more of
I'm
not
really
going over the second half. He seemed to have a little bit of stretch there where he started to pick it up.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Brandon. I mean, there's no question about it. That there's something bothering him. He hasn't been that way in a month, and he's been really, really, really for the whole year he's been pretty good. He had that, call it a meltdown, call it whatever you want to call it, against North Carolina, but. You could see it, right? You don't have to be a coach. You could see it. I don't have a good answer for you, but I think he could see it this time, and try to regroup at halftime. But honest to God, he's played pretty well beginning of the year. You know, he's averaging a double-double going into that Carolina game and really struggled in that game. And then he had the big stretch where he played really well. And then he has not played with that same energy. And it's nothing with his teammates. It's nothing with his coaches. It's nothing with school. But it's something, and we just got to figure it out and get him back, because you can see the look on his face. I mean, everybody can see it. My mother calls. She's 87. She's wearing her bifocals, looking at the TV, and she can see it, seriously. I mean, that's not a joke.
Tom, if you addressed this on your pregame radio show, I apologize, I didn't get to hear it, but it sounds as if you took criticism this week from fans or people about being upset with the Ohio
Oh,
State.
no, I don't. Not that big of a deal, but I mean, yeah. I mean, some people are mad. You know, I gotta pat guys on the butt. I gotta tell them they did a nice job. You know what? Ain't gonna happen here. So it's just the way it is. You know, we're gonna be held accountable. And the difference is, some schools bench guys, but I didn't have any guys on the bench to put in for them. So they're gonna take my wrath then if they keep repeatedly doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. There's going to be consequences. And if people don't like it, I apologize. There's still going to be consequences. It'll be different. Maybe next week I'll be benched, whoever's doing it. But, you know, I feel we've kind of felt sorry for ourselves a little bit, and we're you know, got to save ourselves in practice. We got to do this. And it's been hard. It's been hard. I mean, like I said, Costello, I've treated him like with kid gloves, because I told you guys my daughter had a relapse of mono. I can't afford that for him. So that's been, you know, he's been building, but it's been slowly. You know, in Gary Harris, I mean, it's been a slow process, because there's been 2 different times when he's been out for more than, once was 5-6 weeks, once was 3 weeks. That's a long time to miss. You do lose your conditioning in that period of time. And that's just the way it is. But we're going to have to, you know, we usually get better over Christmas. We didn't have as many bodies over Christmas. And I'm concerned about it, but I'm not worried about it, if that makes any sense. I'm concerned but not worried. I think I know what the reasons are. I think I feel comfortable with the reasons are, except for Brandon. And I will find out what those reasons are.
Tom,
I got time for a lot more, because I'd rather talk to these guys than some of the people I got to talk to. So go ahead.
that kind of the gritty second half run there, that when
Yeah.
you guys seem to be willing to be more physical
Yeah.
and take the fouls and be in foul trouble, put them on the line. Is that better for this team to just deal with the foul trouble in depth and be physical?
Just trying to figure out how to answer that question. You know, I'll answer it the political way. I think it's very hard for these officials to do. I mean, I just think there are some plays out there that I'm mind-boggled by how they're called. And so you can't, and I think they are too. I mean, I am publicly, privately, sleeping in bed. I'm against what we did. We went too far to the left, and now we're trying to bring it back. And players don't know how to play, coaches don't know how to coach, referees don't know how to referee. That's my humble opinion. And we haven't been as physical. I think we got out-toughed in 2 games as far as physically. That's going to, you know, we haven't been able to work on that as much because of different guys that aren't practicing. But we do have to get more physical. I don't want to put them at the foul line, but I think it's difficult. Maybe it's difficult for them too, but it's difficult. There's some bizarre things that happen out there, and you know, as hard as it is on me and maybe some of you and maybe the fans, think about the players, and don't blame the officials. I mean, they've been mandated on what they're supposed to do, and the consistency is going to be hard because it's different for every group of officials. You got veterans, you got young guys, you got different guys. Hard.
For you guys, is it better to just deal with it and play one physical stop?
Well, yeah, but, you know, I had Keith almost out of the game, Gary out of the game. Who do you want me to put in? So you know what you do? You say guard, but don't foul. Yeah. How do you do that? I just did it. Not very well. I don't do it very well. But we'll get back. We'll get Elvin a little bit better. He's not as good against pressure. That bothered him. We'll get Trice back now. It looks like he'll be able to start practicing. We'll get him back. I mean, one or two guys, changes. You get Trice in there that was playing 20, 24 minutes a game. And now you can subtract 4 or 5 minutes off Gary, 4 or 5 minutes off Keith, 4 or 5 minutes off Zell. That's a big difference. So one guy can make a big difference in that, and we'll get better at that. And hey, we got to get better too. We did not play very well. We're not adjusting to things like I think we need to. And so you know what? As a coach, I'm going to go back and look at what we got to do better. And maybe you're right. You bring up something really good. Hey, let's practice hard. If we're tired in a game and we lose because we're too tired, so be it. Now, if I got a call from a lot of important people this week, one was Bobby Knight, and he gave me that, Judd, remember now, less is better. I looked at Judd, I said, God, I worked for you for 12 years. I never heard that when I worked for you, But it's kind of funny how people look at things differently when they're out of them. Right now, I don't think we're practicing hard enough to play the way I want to play, run the way I want to run, and do the things I want to do. And so we've made adjustments to try to figure out how to win games. And knowing that this thing's going to get better, it's going to get better as we get healthier and stronger, and it'll be better. One or two more?
I was just wondering what you saw late from Denzel. Tom, I know he had a couple of head-scratching turnovers early in the game, but it seemed like he...
What did you call those?
Head-scratching turnovers?
Head scratching. That's good.
What did you see?
Later on, I thought he rebounded pretty well. I don't know what he ended up with, but 10. He got some big rebounds late. I thought he defended better late. Denzel is a hell of a kid. Everybody laughs. I got asked the question in my radio show. What's your relationship like with Denzel? I love Denzel Valentine. I told him I'm protecting him from his dad. If I don't get to him, his dad will. But I love the kid. He's in here working morning, noon, and night. He just struggles. Guys struggle, and it's because of all this freshman crap. Everybody's got to be a superstar. And I'm a big Bill Belichick fan. Because you know what? He's got 3 words. Do your job. Don't try to be somebody else. And I think sometimes Zell tries to be something he's not. And, man, when he just does his job, he's damn good. And he's really, really important to us. And I love the kid. I love his work ethic. I don't love his spin dribble. Okay, I don't love it. But everything else about him, he competes, he cares, he works. But he's got to, like everybody else, you got to figure it out sooner or later that this way isn't working. And I got to figure out a different way to get the job done. And he is when he wants to be solid, he's so good. I think he's pressing a little bit and wanting to be something because AP's out. I have a cute story I'm going to share with you because I'm in the mood. Costello came up to me after practice 2 days ago and he taps me on the leg. He says, Coach, can we talk a minute? I said, sure. He says, I know you don't want me taking that 3-point shot. I said, no. And he says, but, next year, AP's going to be gone. No. I went back to my no. But I said, Matt, let's worry about that in the offseason. Let's do what you can do now to help this team win, which is set some great screens, get some great rebounds. He is the best kid in the world, the smartest kid, the best student on my team. And that's kind of the mentality of kids these days. They see so much crap out there on how everybody's, those freshmen aren't maybe having as good a years as it started out to be. There's way too much pressure on these kids in that respect, and everybody's trying to be something they're not ready to be. And I think if you just be who you are, I love my team. I really do. If everybody is who they are and we get everybody back, we're going to be, some of you that maybe had a long football season, hopefully you're going to have a long basketball season because we're going to be good. We're going to be real good, and we just got to get it done. Last one.
Tom,
guy?
we've talked
Larry.
about 20 minutes, and I don't think we've talked about Keith Appling. Can you know about his toughness and leadership and what an asset he is at the free throw line?
Well, isn't that funny? We didn't talk about my two leading scorers, Keith and Gary, but Keith was a warrior again today. He's playing a lot of minutes. He's playing. We're asking him to guard the best people. We're asking him to push the ball. We're asking him to handle it almost by himself, especially when Trice. Now, Trice did give us, I don't know how many minutes Trav played. God, 19. That was kind of a quiet 19, We didn't run as much with him in there. We just tried to get some time. But Keith Appling, I heard somebody say, boy, he's getting to be one of the more improved players in this league. I think he is. He's making shots. He defends. He has to pass. He has a lot on the plate because he's got to handle the ball most of the time. And I'm pleased with Keith, proud of Keith. Got a couple big rebounds late, has not been turning the ball over much. And his assists would be real high if we would have made some shots today because we didn't make shots that we've been making. So that is a big plus, and I'm glad you brought that up because, we had some guys that played well. Kenny played well. Gary, not as well as we're used to see him play. I thought Matt came back and did well. Denzel did some real good things. BJ played better in the second half, but we're not very cohesive yet, and I think I know why, and we'll see if I can keep working on that, and we deserve some criticism for how we executed, I think, and even at last, we knew they were going to run a play and hit the guy in the corner, and guys just, we told them in the huddle, and they just kind of went a little brain dead, and I think that happens when you get fatigued. It happens when you don't get as much practice time. We had Trice in there. The guy didn't practice 1 minute this week. And that's hard to come off and know somebody else's offense by looking at a little bit of film late last night. And so we're going to be fine. I'm not panicking. I'm a little disappointed that we're making similar mistakes again and again. And some guys going to have to realize that that's not going to make it. That's not good for them. It's not good for us.